All right, NASCAR fans. Horsepower is back in the headlines, and this time it's a veteran voice from inside the sport sounding off on where things have gone. NASCAR just made a big change ahead of the regular season finale. And it's got people talking about how far the sport has drifted from its golden era. And hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. So here's what's going on. Ahead of the regular season finale at Daytona International Speedway on August 29, NASCAR announced changes to its superspeedway package. They're cutting engine output from 510 horsepower down to 465 and lowering the rear spoiler from 7 inches down to 4. NASCAR believes these tweaks will improve the racing, but at the same time, they've reignited one of the sport's longest-running debates. Former Cup Series driver Jeremy Mayfield feels like every horsepower reduction is a reminder of how far NASCAR has drifted from the engineering freedom that once defined its golden era. And he's not alone in that thinking. Veteran hauler Darrell Andrews, who spent 33 years working in the sport, shared a pretty blunt message during a recent conversation with Mayfield. They've got it to where there's no incentive for these motor tuners, these motor builders to build a faster product, Andrews said on F5 Sports YouTube channel. He went on to say, I can't even comprehend how much if they let us still run big blocks as we did back in the day, right? How much horsepower they'd be getting out of them. Look at the horsepower they get out of these little small blocks, right? I can't even imagine. And Mayfield didn't disagree with him. Reflecting on decades of rule changes, Mayfield argued that NASCAR's gradual shift towards standardized race cars has taken away much of what once separated manufacturers and teams. From the car of tomorrow used in the Cup Series between 2008 and 2012 to today's next-gen platform introduced back in 2022, Mayfield believes NASCAR has moved toward a package where the sport itself, rather than Ford Toyota, and Chevrolet controls the performance variables. According to both Mayfield and Andrews, innovation has been the biggest casualty. Engine builders were constantly searching for extra horsepower, while teams closely guarded whatever advantages they discovered. We had a lot of cool stuff that year that we've worked hard to get, Mayfield recalled on the same show. But here's the thing. Their frustration really comes from just how much NASCAR's horsepower philosophy has changed over the last decade. Back in 2013 and 2014, Cup Series cars regularly produced between 850 and 900 horsepower. NASCAR then began slowly dialing the engines back to try and create closer racing, eventually settling on 670 horsepower for most tracks and 510 horsepower at superspeedways. Now, though, NASCAR appears to be changing direction once again. The sanctioning body said that a 750 horsepower engine package would be used for Cup Series races on road courses and oval tracks shorter than 1.5 miles, starting in 2026. According to reports, engine manufacturers and NASCAR decided that 750 horsepower was the greatest feasible limit without needing costly redesigns or raising serious durability issues. This comes after years of requests for increased power in the next-gen car from drivers, teams, and fans. NASCAR believes the extra horsepower will make drivers work the throttle more, put a bigger emphasis on tire wear, and create more passing opportunities. However, those modifications highlight a more important issue for Mayfield. He believes NASCAR reached its competitive peak when teams enjoyed greater engineering freedom. Then they let them build the motors. Then we got up to 900 horsepower. That was about 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2001, 2009. Man, that was the peak of the sport right there. That's when it was the best. Whether 750 horsepower actually makes the racing better will only become clear next season. But for Mayfield and Andrews, they simply missed the days when teams and engine builders had more freedom to chase speed on their own. So NASCAR Nation, what do you think? Do you agree with Mayfield that the late 90s and early 2000s were the true peak of the sport? Before horsepower started getting dialed back, drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure you like this video and subscribe to NASCAR Nation News. We'll see you in the next one.